you look at the Super Bowl matchup, it's got the makings of fireworks. I think this is. I can't remember the last time I was very, very pumped for a matchup like this one.
Hello and welcome to the Friday, February 5th edition of the TV on Basketball podcast with your host, TV. I have a great episode here for you today. Thank you guys for clicking on and watching. We have a guest here today. We have Joe from the CriticalCondtionSports podcast, YouTube channel, Instagram page. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, TV? It's going awesome right now, brother. Very excited, man.
Yeah, I had to bring him on. It's Super Bowl weekend. I could not talk about the Super Bowl. So I had to bring in my football guy here, Joe, to help and discuss it. We're going to be talking about the All-Star starters. We're going to be talking about some other things as well. It's going to be an action-packed episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, comment on turn on the notification bells for the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Remember to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review. That would be very much appreciated. And for the Spotify, Anchor, and Podbean listeners, show your support in any way possible as well. And follow me at TVonBasketball on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for other great content, for other great sports content. And also, remember to follow my TikTok. I've been posting there a lot over the last few weeks. It's actually really fun there. It's a lot of fun making videos, so you should go check that out as well. And of course, my guest here, Joe here today, I'm going to have all of his links in my link tree. Definitely go check him out. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out all the awesome interviews he's done on his podcast that he has released over the last few weeks, man. I mean, this guy's been getting some names out there. You should definitely go check those out. Awesome interviews and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, are you ready to get into this? It's going to be an action-packed episode.
Oh, man. Very excited, brother. Very excited.
All right, so let's get right into this. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, obviously, for people who have listened to the podcast for a while, you have been on the show multiple times, talking some NBA, talking some NFL, and we just got to check up on you. How have you been, and how has it been recording podcasts and stuff?
Everything's been going good, man. In going into this journey, gonna hit a year in May. It's a very exciting time. The Super Bowl's going on, NBA's on, UFC's, hitting it hard with some of these cards, man. It's very exciting. And there's a lot of great things to talk about in the world of sports, whether, again, you're talking MMA, basketball, football, and it's making it easier to be able to put out content for, the great audience that we have. And it's been a hell of a journey, man.
Yeah. I mean, you said it right there. There's just so much sports going on, bro. There's just so much. Yeah. It's what do you want to choose? You have to kind of just at this point, you got to okay, what can't you talk about? Because there's just so much to talk about, so much sports going on. And like you said, I mean, you had some awesome interviews on your podcast as of late. You've had people from ESPN. You've obviously got some you've to former UFC fighters. I mean, how has that been? How's those interviews been with them?
Oh, it's been a crazy experience, man. Every interview is different, obviously, which makes each interview special. I've had guys like Colin Hart, talk about, some real deep things going on in his personal life on there. I had ESPN San Antonio's James Pledger, who's awesome. He, is definitely my guy when it comes to NFL drafting and team financials. He's real caught up with that. So having him coming on and sharing his knowledge, it's always awesome. I had Corey Mack, which the episode just dropped yesterday on Apple Pod and wherever you get your podcast from. We, had a great talk. He's definitely one of my favorite people to talk to because he's so uncut, man, and he's just,
this guy has no filter, bro. This guy has no filter.
Yeah, and so he was back on the show yesterday. We had a great conversation. We tackled a lot of things, which was very fun, man. He can just go on and on and on and on, which is awesome. I love it, man.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
Yeah. And like I said, you could check up all his links in my description. I mean, obviously he's got the podcast going on, which is going strong, getting all these interviews in. And he's also still doing his thing on the YouTube channel. Check out for a lot of awesome NFL content, especially in terms of the Super Bowl. This guy has made some awesome Super Bowl videos. You can definitely go subscribe, check that out. And
I will say, sorry to interrupt you. I will say this though. Today I actually have my top 5 Tom Brady performances in the Super Bowl coming out on YouTube. It'll drop in a few hours, man, from when this episode drops.
Yeah, definitely go check it out for some awesome Super Bowl content. I mean, obviously, I think you made your predictions on your thing already, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw the prediction. I
yeah.
stuck to it.
Well, yeah. We're also gonna be talking about that later in the show. We're gonna be talking about some Super Bowl, about the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's happening this Sunday.
Yeah.
We got to go talk about that. And again, for all awesome football content, just sports content in general, just go check him out. Well, let's get into some of these topics because
Yeah.
we're not gonna today's more of a sports podcast. We never really do like I usually just do just basketball, but with the Super Bowl happening and some news happening in the NFL, we gotta talk some NFL. But we're gonna start with some NBA topics. And the first
All right.
topic I do want to discuss is the fans being courtside right now and like at NBA games. Obviously, the biggest incident that happened this week was, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday night. It was the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Atlanta Hawks. And there was an incident between a couple. I mean, I don't know about you if you saw the couple or not. They did not look like a couple. I thought it was a father and a daughter, but apparently they're husband and wife. Like I don't know.
Jesus, I didn't
I,
know. I didn't
I
see
don't know.
that.
I saw them. I was like, wait, what the heck? Like these are husband and wife. I'm like, okay, whatever. But they had a confrontation with LeBron. She had some choice words for him, which led to her ejection. Um, Apparently, like LeBron was just responding because her husband was doing trash talk as well. And yeah, there's just like a lot of crazy stuff, especially happening that day. I mean, it was a close game. The Hawks put up a good fight against the Los Angeles Lakers, but all
Okay.
of that was overshadowed by this event. Joe, what were your thoughts on this whole thing when you like saw it like transpire?
So this in a sense it's interesting just because of the fact that, well, look, I'm not gonna. Me and Corey had a great talk about this on the podcast, and I'm not gonna go out there because Corey's really uncensored, man. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna definitely go into that kind of detail. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that I think LeBron was just being he's being too sensitive, man. In my opinion, man.
yeah,
Now here's the thing: not a lot of people can attest and tell you like what was exactly said. I know
yeah,
there's reports, rumors, and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I don't know for sure, brother. The one thing I will tell you is if it's anything racial, something about someone's family,
yeah,
something that's saying I want you to die, something like that. That's 100% uncalled for. I don't condone that at all. No one should ever say that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Definitely should have gotten kicked out. But if you're out there and you're talking smack, bro, whether you're cussing at him saying, "Oh, like you suck," that's as far as I'll go and I'll say it
yeah,
like that. I'm sure they weren't just saying that, but
yeah,
if
for
they're
sure.
cussing at him and stuff like that and saying those kind of things, look, man, it's the NBA. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? LeBron should be happy that there's fans to cuss at him
yeah,
while he's playing. You know what I mean? Like that's what people are there. That's why they call it home field advantage, man. When you're going up in someone else's home turf, man, that's what home field advantage is in the sense, man. I mean, you got to understand these guys are fanatics. They're fans, okay?
yeah,
They're drinking. They're not probably making the best choices. Was it immature in a sense? Sure, why not,
yeah,
man? But did they have to get kicked out? Again, that's neither here or there, man. I think LeBron was just being sensitive, man. If I was a coach, I'd have been like, you know what, LeBron, like, you need to take a chill pill, bro. I mean,
yeah,
this is the world that we live in right now. He's an NBA athlete, man. They're getting paid millions of dollars to be putting up and be put in the limelight, man, in the spotlight, better
yeah,
yet. That's just my view, man. I think
yeah,
LeBron was kind of in the wrong in a sense because I feel like he was just being too sensitive when it comes to it, man. The world is different, bro. The world is
yeah.
different.
Yeah. And like the biggest talking point here is one, I mean, obviously we can look at the COVID sense of this. I mean, like why are fans like so close to the court? We can look at that
Yeah,
like as a first thing. But in terms of just like fans in general, being courtside and stuff like that, I mean, I have to agree with you in the sense like it was a bit kind of much. I think
yeah,
how LeBron was kind of perceiving it was like a playful back and forth because I mean he has this done in the past where someone is heckling at him and then he comes with like a kind of a witty like comeback and stuff like that. And like it's kind
yeah,
of like a cute back and forth. But I think what really like put it over the top, like from at
yeah,
least from what the reports and stuff, was that the woman took it like really seriously. Whatever like LeBron said, I think like obviously this is like I don't want to cuss on this. Like I'm not the type
no,
of
for
guy.
sure,
Yeah, but
for
he
sure.
said something about like him like being on steroids and stuff like that. I think he's a muscular dude, the guy that he was talking to,
Yeah,
but and his wife took offense to that and like she started going off on LeBron. I think that's what kind of led to the ejection. And LeBron
yeah,
talked about it after the game. I mean, he didn't think like it was warranted an ejection. I think like the wife took it like more seriously than it needed to be. But
yeah,
at the same time, I mean, like like in terms of just fans in general, I think like my viewpoint on this is that look, obviously like people are gonna say like, look, I paid money for this, like I can talk whatever I want. Obviously, there's a line that should not be crossed.
yeah, for sure.
Like 100%, there should not be a line crossed. But if you're trash talking a guy in an NBA like player kind of like does like if he doesn't like do it like in a well, obviously like you said we don't know 100% what's going to be said. We'll never know. We're never going to know what's going to be said.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have to expect something coming back. I mean, these guys are at the same time, like you said, although they're athletes and stuff, they're still human, and they're gonna have some
For
sort of
sure.
comeback one way or another.
For
But
sure,
you got to be
man.
prepared for that, and at the same time,
Exactly.
like you have to be prepared for that. And LeBron at this time, I mean, I think he viewed it as something like just very playful, and then like they kind of took it over the top. I
For
don't think it
sure.
warranted an ejection and all that, but at the same time, I think the security. What's weird about all this, I think, like what I like was thinking about it was that look, it's an empty arena mostly, right? Like in
Yeah.
most of these, yeah. Like refs can hear everything, no matter
Yeah.
what. You can hear the players, you can hear the fans. It's not like where like in a normal setting where like a bunch of fans are yelling and stuff. Like you can only like get bits and pieces of what they're saying.
For sure.
This was very clear what he was saying, and I think like like and especially in an empty arena. But I don't know like about them being ejected, but I mean, if you definitely trash talking an athlete, you gotta expect some back, and I think they just took it
For,
definitely.
for sure, man. And I think if it's gonna be like that, bro, that I mean, you need to sit the hell down.
Yeah,
You know, like okay, like cool. So I'm talking my smack to you, and then if you fire back at me, if anything, I'm like, oh, cool, man. I pissed off LeBron James so bad that he said something back to me. That's cool. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know, man. People need to understand it's a game, man. At the end of the day, it's
yeah,
a game. You know, yes, and when I said that, they're getting paid millions of dollars, it doesn't mean that it's so like they deserve that kind of stuff. Definitely
yeah.
no, man. But
No, yeah,
that's what home field is, brother. You're in
yeah.
the spotlight. You're in the spotlight whether you want to or not, man. If that's the career you want to do, I mean, you're in the spotlight. So people, not everyone's gonna like you.
Yeah, and yeah, 100%. And like, I mean, like, I guess like the conversation continued, and I think
Yeah.
like that's what kind of took it over the top. But at the same time, I would have just been happy with if that happened to me. I was just happy I was just gonna get
Oh,
a response,
cool.
100%. That'd
Pissed
just be a
off
cool
LeBron
thing.
James.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have just been like a cool moment. But
Yeah.
this kind of led to a lot of like topics circling ESPN and other
Okay.
just kind of sports shows in general that like in general with the basketball fans, obviously when like COVID was not around, we had fans literally sitting on the court. They had like courtside tickets. Those are
Yeah.
worth thousands and thousands of dollars that people go and see. And that raised a lot of debate if they even should be that close in general. Because as you know in football, no one's sitting on the field. There's like
Yeah.
always that elevation. Like obviously you have the seating. You can be like as close to the field as you can, but you're not
Yeah.
on the field. Same thing with baseball. Same thing with soccer. You guys are in stands. And that kind of like leads to this, like, is the NBA like just fans in general just too close? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You know what, bro? I do think that they are too close, man. I remember when I first saw basketball, and I saw fans on the court side. I was like, what the? Oh, they allow it? Like, I can pay to be that close. I think that's too close, man, to be honest with you, for many reasons, bro. I mean, people, these guys are still going full speed ahead. I know it's not to the extent of football where they're wearing pads and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And maybe they may not be as huge as some like light offensive linemen, but LeBron's a big guy, man.
yeah,
Embiid's a big guy, man.
yeah,
If those guys are running full speed ahead, trying to make a play, anything can happen, man. They could slip, whatever, and seriously hurt someone else, hurt themselves in the process, hurt
yeah,
themselves even more to try to avoid hurting the fan. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
do feel like it's a little bit too close, in my opinion. But hey, man, I mean, if that's what the NBA wants to do and they sell those kind of tickets, it's a money thing. To be
yeah,
honest with you, I mean, it's a money thing. I don't
yeah.
see them stopping.
Yeah, I don't see him stopping either. Obviously, like I mean, the closest I've been was 3 rows from courtside, and even still,
Yeah.
like honestly, if like I mean, no one like was doing like one of those big hustle plays, jumping into the crowd trying to save the ball. But if that happened, I mean, like I was close enough to say like, oh, I could have maybe got hit, but still,
Yeah.
like like people like I mean it's not like we just don't
Yeah.
have that type of experience in like any other sport, which is like crazy with the NBA, how you
For
have
sure.
fans literally like in the battle, like in the field of battle, like and like it's hard to avoid them, honestly. Like we've seen instances where players run into people holding the drinks. We've seen people like jump into the crowd. like
Yeah.
it happens, and I have to kind of agree with you, it's kind of just too close. But
Yeah.
the NBA is not stopping this. This is
Oh, for
like
sure.
this is like a bunch of season ticket holders are there. You have like you can like make some bank, and and fans want to be as close to the experience as possible. I mean,
For
if
sure.
there was a safe way they were going to do in the NFL, they would, but they can't. There's no safe way of having them on the field.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Especially with COVID going on. I mean, if they're allowing fans to sit courtside during COVID, bro. I
Yeah,
mean, that they ain't stopping.
yeah. I mean, like, yeah, they have fans for courtside. I mean, that was already like a big like, and I know like in Tampa Bay, like where the Raptors are playing right now, they have just the upper bowl,
Yeah.
like filled and stuff like that. But having fans courtside, that's just way too much. And I have to agree with
Yeah.
you there. There's just n- there's just no need, and I think it's just like a risk to
Yeah.
people sitting there, and just a risk to the players there because like if like first like if players can hear everything, and it's just kind of like too close for comfort
Yeah, for
and then
sure, man.
and stuff can definitely happen. So yeah, I mean, like obviously, like that was like a crazy incident. But if stuff like this happens more, I think the NBA will definitely have to reconsider. But there's just too much money there. There's too much money for
Too much.
to be had. But yeah, there's that. Put your thoughts down below. What do you think? Like, should fans even be courtside in NBA games? Obviously, they're not going to change it, but I would like to hear your thoughts down below. Move on to our next NBA topic. We're going to be talking about the All-Star game that looks like that's going to be happening on March 7, man.
Yeah.
Like which is crazy to me, but apparently the NBPA and the NBA have come to the agreement that there's going to be an All-Star game on March 7th, which is the plan in Atlanta. And there's obviously a lot of mixed reactions from the players and the fans. Like, should we be doing this? We already have a bunch of COVID cases going on in the NBA, and now you're basically getting a bunch of stars together for an invitational. I mean, what are your thoughts on like the NBA deciding to do this?
I felt like from what I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I
Yeah,
heard that so the NBA Players Association, spearheaded by Chris Paul, was us actually pushing for this as well. Am I correct?
I I'm not 100% sure on
That's what I
that.
read.
Okay. If that's like, I'm not
Mhm.
100% sure on the matter as well, but I just know that the like MEPA and the NBA came into that agreement, but I'm not sure like what Chris
Okay.
Paul had to do with it. But yeah,
Like,
go
is
ahead.
it okay? So I heard that Chris Paul was the president for that,
Yeah.
so he was helping pushing it. Look, man, I don't think they should have had it just because of the fact that I mean, Corona. We've seen a lot of other major leagues like the NFL who didn't have a Pro Bowl cancel that game. Obviously, I think the way you're looking at it is if we can, we will. Money talks. We were just talking about that. I don't feel like it's the smartest thing to do, but I think at that point, I think the NBA is just trying to put content on TV, which I guess in a sense sounds ridiculous because there's still, I mean, you could just roll technically or use that week as a bye week in a sense to let people reset, with COVID cases.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's not the smartest thing. I disagree with the decision.
Yeah. And a bunch of NBA players. I mean, De'Aaron Fox called it stupid. LeBron last night after the game said like he doesn't want any part of this. So like the players think it's a stupid idea. I think even a majority of fans saying like, why are we doing this? We just need to get through the season and
Yeah,
like just kind of just COVID free. I mean, like there's nothing like this happening in other leagues, but the NBA is still trying to push it. And another like aspect to look at is to like why they shouldn't have is like, firstly, you have players from other markets, right, coming to play this exhibition
yeah,
game at the end of the day.
yeah. It doesn't mean
What?
anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. What if they get COVID? Like you have a bunch of players, and these are your top players that you want coming to these events. Like
Yeah,
imagine if like some sort of mini outbreak happens. That means the best players on these teams are going to be heavily disadvantaged for what, like 10 days of quarantine. Like it's
yeah. 10 days, and then plus, the after effects. We've seen some players get this thing, especially like in the NFL, that it took them a couple of weeks to be able to
yeah,
get back to themselves.
yeah. I mean, like I think correct me if I'm wrong. Myles Garrett had like
Yeah,
symptoms like even like past his like thing, and he didn't
yeah,
like really look the same after like he contracted
yeah,
COVID.
for
I
sure. It's affecting people.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like even people like in the NBA right now, like Carl Anthony Towns, I mean, his 14-day quarantine's over, but he's still feeling the effects of it. And hopefully he's doing all right. But I mean, like this lasts longer. This definitely lasts longer. I mean, Jimmy Butler said during his COVID period that he lost like 12, 13 pounds just because like he could barely eat.
Yeah,
Like this is just like I think it's an unnecessary risk for the NBA to be doing this.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
I agree.
like, do you think there's a chance they're gonna go back on it? Like, do you think?
There's a slight chance I think that they go back on it.
Yeah, it's just like it's more of like you said, money talks, and the NBA in terms of
Money
just
does
trying.
talk,
And as long as like there's a possibility for it to happen, I think the NBA is definitely gonna go through that. But
for
I
sure.
don't think I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, like it seems like you don't think it's a good idea either. I just want to
I
just get
don't.
through this NBA season, just crown a champion because having an exhibition is just unnecessary. I mean, name the All Stars, that's fine. Obviously, this like helps like
Yeah, for
them
sure.
like this goes on their Hall of Fame resume. This goes on to um like into context and stuff. Like I know like if you
Yeah.
have a certain amount of all-star appearances, like you get like a certain bonuses and stuff. Have that. That's fine.
Yeah,
But the
for sure.
game is just unnecessary. The game is just completely
For
unnecessary.
sure.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Yeah. But since it's happening and it looks like we're going through it, me and Joe have gone through the All-Star starters for both the East and West. Obviously, the voting is going on right now. I believe tomorrow is double voting day. So if you want to vote for your favorite players to make to the All-Star game, vote tomorrow where you can get double the chances to vote for them. But
Nice.
me and Joe here have created our starting fives for each team: 2 guards, 3 forwards for the East and the West. We're going to be going through them, see where we agree and disagree. And yeah, let's just try and make our predictions for who is going to be the starters for the All-Star game. You ready to go, my guy?
Let's go, man.
Yeah. So we're gonna start in the East, and we're
Okay.
gonna start. We're gonna go the 2 guards first. Let's see, like where we agree and disagree. Joe, who are your 2 guards for the Eastern All Stars starting lineup?
Well, for one, I'm going with Bradley Beal from the Wizards. It's going to be tough to deny him. I mean, he's averaging 34 points
Yeah,
this season, man. I think he's doing awesome. As much as we want to call the Wizards dumpster fire. The,
yeah,
the next guard though is kind of hard for me, man. But I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown, man. I think Jaylen
yeah,
Brown's taking some leaps right now, averaging 26 points, 5 and 5. I think that he's a big key to Boston's success right now.
yeah,
And I think Jaylen Brown's very deserving.
yeah.
So those are my guards.
Your guard position, yes. Those are good picks. I agree with one of them, and I kind of
Okay.
disagree with the other. I agree with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal
Yes.
definitely 35, 5 and 5. Basically, if you round it up.
Yeah.
Um, yes, the Wizards are a dumpster fire. Yes, they're playing horribly, but when you're leading the league with
Yeah.
5 points ahead from the second next guy, playing the way you're playing, like carrying the whole offensive load on your back. I mean, yes, the record is bad, but you just can't deny how good Bradley Beal has been this season. And I mean,
Absolutely.
he kind of got screwed over last year. I mean, averaging 30
He
points a
did.
game and not making it
For
at
sure.
all. So I
For
think
sure.
right now, I mean, like he's number one in All-Star voting right now for the guards as well. I think Bradley Beal is a no-brainer at this point. And for the second guard, I mean, I had Jaylen Brown honestly for like the last 2 weeks, like if they like
Yeah.
had him as a starter. But my only issue with them is that the Celtics have kind of dipped and they've kind of been
Yeah.
underwhelming the last few games or so, and they're kind of like closer to 500 than they are over 500.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he's had an awesome season. I think he'll be an all-star nonetheless. I just don't think he'll be a starter. And for my second guard, I got to go with James Harden, man.
Oh my God. He didn't even
James,
start though. He didn't even start the season in the East.
I know, but with the 9 game, I mean, that's the thing. Like I was gonna go
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, obviously. I
Yeah.
mean, if the Celtics record was better, I was gonna definitely go with them. But right now, James Harden is playing
Yeah.
awesome for the Brooklyn Nets. He's playing absolutely, and he's not like,
Yeah.
and he's not doing like his usual thing when he did with the Rockets, taking every shot, making every single play.
He's got
Also, he
11
doesn't
assists.
12, basically
Yeah.
12, like leading the league in
Yeah.
assists, 24 points a game. And this is just his Brooklyn Nets stats: 24 points a game, 8 rebounds, basically 12 assists. And he is just like, he is controlling the game for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And I like how he's doing it. He's super unselfish. He's still getting his buckets. And he's just being like, honestly, he's more influential to that team than Kyrie. He could be
Oh,
like,
I agree
yeah,
with that.
he's more influential to that team than Kyrie. KD, I mean, he's doing his thing, but honestly, James Harden is running the show there. He's doing it masterfully. They're second in the East right now. I think right now like 15-9, 14-9.
Yeah.
So I got to go with James Harden there, but Jaylen Brown, man. I mean, like I had him literally like until
Yeah.
probably like 4 or 5 days ago until I'm like, I can't deny
You
James
made
Harden
the
at this
switch.
point. Yeah,
All
he
right. Respect.
definitely, yeah. I mean, like, were there any other players at that guard position that you were kind of considering, or were you like Jaylen
No,
Brown?
I was between Beal, Brown, and Harden.
Yeah, yeah.
Those were my top three.
Yeah, I have to agree the same thing here. Are there other players do you think? Because like even like I know we're just talking about the starters, but in terms of the bench, like do you think like who are some guys that kind of can surprise people that can kind of get into this All Star game, like from the East side?
That could surprise people in the East. That's a tough one right there for me because I really haven't been paying so much attention to anyone else besides the kind of numbers that Beal and Harden
Yeah,
and everyone else is putting up right now. If
yeah,
I had to pick somebody else on there, I mean, geez, let's see, we got some good players right here. Oh, that'd be hard, man. Obviously, I would want to go to Russ, man, just because I
yeah,
feel like after seeing some of the games that he's had there, I've been impressed. Man. I'm not gonna lie, man. You know me that I'm such a Russell Westbrook. I think I say a
Yeah,
hater, but a Russell enthusiast. I like to call myself
enthusiast.
Russell Westbrook enthusiast. You
Yeah,
know, seeing that the way how crazy they were able to pull it off. I like Kyrie as well, man. I think
yeah,
Kyrie's off-court antics really hurt him here, though.
yeah,
I would have thought of Kyrie, man, but it
yeah.
remains to be seen, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you have to maybe throw your name for Trey Young in that hat as well, for sure, from the Atlanta Hawks. You could definitely put him in
So
there. There's a lot of choice. I think it's a pretty deep in for the guard position in the East, but in terms of the starters, it's really between those three. And I
yeah,
honestly like you can't go wrong with any of them, to be honest. Like if any of like those two start, one of them is going to be an all-star on the bench anyway, so it won't really matter. But yeah, I definitely think like the guard position is definitely deep, but those three guys, Harden, Beal, and Brown, were definitely are the top three
yeah.
guys for this.
I did think of Trey Young. Here's the thing, though. I feel like his play has dipped a little bit this season, though.
He kind of looks like at
There's
times he kind of looks uninterested at times. That's my only thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean I talk about guys like Kyrie over him, Russ, who I
Yeah.
guess I'm not too fond of over him.
Yeah. But
But
yeah.
he's
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
There's definitely a lot of choice in the East.
for sure.
We go to the forward positions now, and I think there could be at least debate for like a bit in like for the guards between those three guys, but for the East forwards, it seems kind of set in stone.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we differ here, but Joe, who do you have as your three forwards for the East?
So three. So it's interesting. So I have KD,
Yeah,
Giannis,
yeah,
and then for my fifth, I actually have Joel Embiid, man.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I have all three of those players. I think they're fantastic. KD is coming back, and he's playing fantastic, man. He's
yeah,
been real efficient. Giannis, again, the same thing. Great two-time MVP right now. And then Embiid, I think Embiid's impressed me a lot because he's having kind of an MVP kind of a season, man, and he's
yeah.
playing really well. And I'm not huge on Embiid, man. I think he gets too hurt to my liking, man. And
Yeah.
I sometimes I do question the work ethic in there, but it looks like he's putting the work finally.
Yeah, 100%. And no surprise here. I agree with all three of those. Those are my
Yeah,
three forwards as well. Embiid for me, if the season started today, I mean, he would be my MVP. He's playing at an absolutely
yeah.
MVP level.
29,
20,
10, and 2.
yeah, exactly. He is playing
Yeah,
at such a high level, and like you could tell. I mean, like I think they're 1-5 when he's not playing this year, and you
yeah,
could tell like they miss him, and he's putting in that effort. I mean, whatever Doc Rivers is doing on the offensive side to
yeah.
help him do well, is definitely working out for him. And the 76ers are number one in the East. I mean, like he's leading them 2 wins. Now, can they
That's insane.
can this last for the whole season? We still don't know. And like I think we talked about this on like another podcast before. Like I talked about how I was so high on them last year and they completely like fell to my expectations. I know you had your thoughts on them on like the off-season podcast for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. I'm more of like, hey, let's pull the plug on certain things right there. To answer your question, I guess we know that they can win, but can they sustain it? Consistency is the hardest thing to do. And
Yeah.
anything, whether it's basketball or anything outside of sports,
Yeah.
consistency is the hardest thing to do. And here's the thing: like I know these guys are ballers. I know they can play, but can
Yeah.
they get it done when it matters the most, man? That's
Yeah.
that's the interesting question here.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting with the 76ers and how Joel Embiid is playing. But yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin Durant, the fact that he's coming back from this Achilles injury and basically like is still the second best player in basketball is absolutely ridiculous.
yeah,
Honestly, like probably one of the best injury comebacks in NBA hits. I mean, like I don't think I'm like over exaggerating saying that
no, I
because
don't think so.
yeah, like
He's being real efficient.
he's been super efficient, 31 points basically per game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He's up
Yeah,
there in the MVP conversation as well. I think it's just like I mean, Giannis hasn't been really like as like at an MVP level, but he's definitely still up there. And I think
for
honestly,
sure.
like this one was definitely a lot easier than it was for the guards, like picking these
Oh,
three.
absolutely, man.
Yeah, definitely 100% easier. Let's move on to the West because I think this
Yep,
one I think is a. I'm not sure if it was going to be a lot more harder, but definitely like I think there were definitely some decisions yet to be made.
for
Two
sure.
guards, two guards, three forwards. Joe, who do you got as your two West guards?
So I have Curry,
Curry? Yeah.
good old Chef Curry, and I have Dame actually. I have
Okay.
Dame being my starter.
Yeah.
So honestly, when I look, man, I'm not going to tell Damian Lillard that he's not going to be a starter for an All-Star game. And I think
Yeah.
I think Dame's an absolute beast. My respect for Dame every single year just rises, man, and rises and rises.
Yeah.
Guy's a straight up G, man. He's a straight up baller. 27, 4 and 7 right now, doing fantastic. Steph Curry, though, he's hanging in there. A lot of people, I think, this year want to criticize him a lot, and that's when it came to okay, maybe he's not as good as a lot of people advertise him to be. Maybe he's more Clay dependent, and I think he's putting that to rest right now. I think Steph's doing a great job to be able to just stay within games and have the Golden State Warriors at least competing in the sense there.
Yeah.
When you don't have, when I think your second best player, what could we argue, is Kelly Oubre right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's just not a huge recipe for success. And he's still setting milestones by himself as well, which is really impressive.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, people were still doubting like if the Warriors can even make it to the playoffs without a Klay
Yeah,
Thompson and stuff like that. And Steph Curry, I mean, what's crazy about him is like he's leading the best fourth quarter offense in basketball right now. I mean,
yeah,
if you keep it close in these games, you do not want to be against the Warriors because Steph could just take over
for
just
sure.
like that.
Get
Like
hot.
he can get hot, and we've seen it multiple times already this season. How he's just been able to take over those fourth quarters and still be that guy. I mean, he's still like undeniably for me the best point guard in basketball. You can't take that away from him at the moment.
For
And
sure.
and yeah, for sure, he was definitely like 100% going to make it as a West guard for me. And I have to agree with you. I'm going with Dame as well.
Okay.
I was gonna go Luca literally like 5 days ago, kind of like the Jalen
I
Brown thing.
was, I was, I was gonna go with Luca, man.
I was. But the
I
Mavericks
was
have been
too.
so bad, man.
They
They've been
have been so
so
bad.
bad. And speaking of Steph Curry and the Warriors, I mean, yesterday they faced off against the Dallas Mavericks and they trashed them. They
Yeah,
absolutely trashed them 147 to 116. And if you didn't watch the game, anyone who's watching, they lost. And it wasn't because of Steph Curry. They lost to the bench of the Golden State Warriors with no big man. They had
yeah,
no, like, James Wiseman's injured, Kevon Looney's injured, and they got absolutely torched by Damian Lee. Kelly Oubre got his career high yesterday. I mean, the Mavs
yeah.
just look bad. The Mavs just look horrible right now. And as much as, I mean, Luka is one of my favorite players in the league, but I cannot have someone who is 14th in the West right now, like 14th.
I mean, leadership, man. Leadership comes into play, man. And he's not a very outspoken guy. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and like he definitely needs to work on that. And just the Dallas, I mean, like you can't. I just can't convince myself to do it. But yeah,
No, for
Dame,
sure.
Dame right now leading the Portland Trailblazers without CJ McCollum, without Yusuf Nurkic to the fourth seed in the West right now. You can't
Pretty
deny
impressive,
that. Very very impressive season from Dame once again. He could even be a dark horse MVP candidate if they continue to climb in the standings.
for sure.
And yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I would love to put Luka there, but it's just the Dallas just suck. Dallas just suck. Dallas,
Yeah,
Dallas just sucks right now,
for
man.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, they need to definitely make some moves. We have to let's go straight to the forward positions now. Again, there's a lot of like honestly interesting choices you could put at these positions. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we differed, but I'm also wouldn't be surprised if we were had
Yeah.
the exact same three players here as well. Joe, who are your three forwards for the Western Conference All Star starters?
Okay, so for me, I had four players. Made a decision on three.
Yeah,
I have Kawhi,
yeah,
LeBron James,
yeah,
and then my fifth is Jokic, actually,
yeah,
from the Nuggets.
yeah,
So LeBron's a no-brainer, man. In my opinion, man, he's the best player in basketball right now. He's averaging 25, 7, and 7. Even if it's, I guess, you would want to consider a down year for LeBron James. Those are career high numbers for a lot of players, man. To be
yeah.
honest with
He's
you.
insane. He's
Yeah.
insane.
Kawhi has been real impressive to me, even though it's just, it's 26, 5, and 5. It's similarly to LeBron right now. But I think with Kawhi, I think the most impressive thing for the Clippers, just in general, was they had some key offseason losses.
Yeah.
Obviously, they ended last season on terrible terms. And
I remember
yeah, yeah,
you ranted on that bad.
yeah, man. And then on George Paul, look, playoff P don't exist, man. I'm
Yeah.
still saying that right now.
Yeah.
Playoff P, shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up, Paul George.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I will say that right now. Shut the hell up, Paul George.
Yeah.
Get it done when it matters.
Yeah.
But regardless of what I think, though, I think Kawhi is playing great still. This is a team that a lot of people were predicting was going to fall off the map,
Yeah.
pretty much in that sense, because of certain, again, offseason losses and certain moves that were done, and because of the fact that the way they lost could really, really destroy a team, TV. So I have Kawhi there. Jokic, man, it was Jokic or Anthony Davis. I think I'm more impressed with what Jokic has been able to do by himself than with AD along with LeBron James. Respect to AD, I think is phenomenal. But for me, Jokic gets the nod here.
Yeah. I have the same three you here: LeBron, Kawhi, Jokic. I think this was kind of a no-brainer. The only case with Anthony Davis is that he kind of hasn't been looking like himself to start the season.
Nah,
It doesn't matter though. With the Lakers, it doesn't matter. What matters is
exactly.
what they produce in the playoffs. And let's be honest, he's just gonna produce like he's gonna put up big numbers in the playoffs. I'm not worried about Anthony Davis, but so far in the regular season, Jokic is
Yeah,
outclassing him. He's just
for
absolutely out.
sure.
27, 12, and 9 Jokic is averaging
Yeah,
a near triple double at the center position. The freaking center
yeah,
position. Jokic is playing this well. Obviously, the fourth seed, like they're right now, I believe, in the fifth seed in the West. They're playing that well. And, Jokic definitely up there in the MVP candidates, definitely deserves to be an all-star starter.
yeah,
LeBron, who need we talk about him anymore? This guy's just
yeah,
insane. Like he's just gonna keep going on and on. Like honestly, like we're waiting for him to fall off, but it's not. It's just not
yeah,
happening right now. It's just not happening. He's just an
yeah,
absolute like specimen. Like he's such a good player. And Kawhi Leonard, I mean, you said it perfectly. How a lot of teams would like take that second round loss to heart, and that could really carry over to the next season. But
yeah.
what I like about what the Clippers are doing is that they're not talking. They're
No,
not
they're not
talking.
talking.
They're second in the West right now, and they're low key. No one's talking about the Clippers,
No
and
one
that's
is.
how it should be though. Keep it low key and strike into playoffs. You got to be focused, and I think Kawhi understands that. I mean, he's a multiple time champion. He knows what they need to do to win. I think he's kind of like telling the Clippers that keep it low key. We are an awesome team. We just need to like focus on what we have to
Yeah,
do.
I agree with you 100% when it comes to that. I mean, here, real quick though, on
Yeah.
the Clippers, I think that's something that needed to happen to them.
Yeah.
I think Paul George is a player that really, really needed to be humbled. Again, how far that goes, we'll see. Miami with the super team back when it was LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh, they didn't win their first season.
Yeah.
So that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, for sure. And Kawhi Leonard obviously leading the charge on that. Other players I actually had in mind. I mean, you had Anthony Davis
Yeah,
there. I really didn't consider him just because of those kind of underwhelming
yeah.
numbers. But as much as you don't like playoff P, you got to consider it. I mean,
Oh man,
regular season playoff P right
regular
now.
season, sure, regular season playoff PA. Russell Westbrook's a great regular season
Yeah,
playoff.
yeah. But right
Yeah,
now, man, I mean, Paul George is having insane numbers: 24 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. This guy's shooting 90% from the free throw line, almost 50% from three. That is honestly one
yeah,
of the most impressive things I've been seeing with Paul George this year. He is just on fire from three,
yeah.
50% from the field. I mean, honestly, like you got to keep into consideration. And a low key person, honestly, I wanted to like maybe like give a spot to, but not a lot of people are talking about is Rudy Gobert.
Oh, Rudy Gobert is so underrated, bro.
He's so
So
no.
underrated.
I hated how Shaq was kind of labeling him the way he was because you could tell this year Rudy Gobert is so good. He is so
Yeah,
good on the defensive end. I mean, his stats are not going to jump out at you: 13 points, 13 rebounds. But the Jazz are number one in the West, and
yeah, that's
he's just
insane.
insane. He's insane. And like honestly, like he needs to be an all-star this year. I even was considering him, but it's just like Jokic is just too good. But
No,
I was
Jokic is so good, man.
yeah, but I mean, Gobert is honestly at this point so underrated, and I was actually considering him, but those three guys. I mean, I think we agree with all of the West players.
Yeah.
They're just too good, but there's definitely like a lot of like worthy candidates for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, those are our all-star starters. Leave it down below who you guys have as your all-star starters. Going to be interesting to see, especially in that East. Do people value wins as much, and do they take Bradley Beal off? I'm not sure. Some people, I know I've had some debates with people who think that Bradley Beal shouldn't even be in the starting lineup, which I think is insane, but
That's
it is
ridiculous.
it is what it is. And yeah, if you guys want to jump on these debates, there's an app called SportsBeat that I'm on, man. Just come in and join the debate. It's actually really, really fun over there. But yeah, let's move away from basketball, man. Let's talk some NFL football. The
Hey,
Super Bowl weekend. We are going into Joel's world here. I'm obviously kind of more specialized in basketball. This guy knows his stuff on football. I have to go to him when it comes to stats and stuff like, should I be believing in this guy and stuff like that? I have to go to him. But we're going to talk some NFL football. We're going to get to the Super Bowl later, but
for
we got to
sure.
talk about this crazy rumor that had started a few days ago. Andrew Luck. Yes, we're gonna be talking some Andrew Luck. 2 years ago, he surprised the world and retired. I believe it was 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I
2018.
believe it was 2018. No, it was
2018.
right before the 2019 season, brother.
2019 season. So
Yeah.
Andrew Luck retired. There, I mean, like it was literally after a preseason game. Like that's how crazy
Yeah.
it was. It was kind
The
of like
fourth one.
fourth preseason game. Like,
Way before the regular season, bro.
really, like that was a crazy moment. He's one of my favorite players of all time. So it was really sad for him to walk away from the game like that. But obviously, he had this intention in mind, and hopefully he's doing well for himself. But there have been rumors, there have been leaks that he might be back in the NFL soon. Obviously, he would go back to the Indianapolis Colts, and with the quarterback situation right now, if they could get Andrew Luck back, goodness gracious, that team could be something special. But Joe, is there any substance to these rumors? Should people be kind of like hyping up, be in the hype that Andrew Luck could come back?
So this one's tough, TV, because so on one end you saw, first of all, I think what Indianapolis did to Andrew Luck was terrible. You know, they surrounded him with a bunch of trash around him. It was a
Jim
dumpster
Irsay is a
fire.
horrible GM. Jim Irsay
Yeah,
was a horrible GM.
yeah, and now you look at the weapons they have. They need somebody like Andrew Luck. So I mean, it was just unfair. I think
Yeah,
Andrew Luck's phenomenal,
yeah,
great talent. I feel like him being the nice guy kind of caught up to him. I think that's why we're having the issues that Deshaun's having in Houston, but that's another story for later.
yeah.
Regardless, though, so the rumors were that he may be on the comeback. Apparently, his wife was texting with a friend, somebody else's wife,
Yeah.
saying that, oh, Andrew Luck's got a meeting with Jim Irsay, and homegirl screenshotted the messages and showed it to the media. So one,
Yo,
Andrew
that's
Luck, your
Snake.
wife's
That's
got some
Snake.
terrible friends, brother.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a
make some
Snake.
better friends.
Yeah.
That's one. So two, obviously Irsay responded to this saying that nope, he's retired. There's no way. Yada yada yada. Trying to put those rumors to rest. I'm gonna tell you a story real quick, TV. So I met this guy named Brian Myers, and for some of the audience may know him if you watch WWE. His name is Kurt Hawkins.
Yes. Oh yeah, Brian Myers. Yeah, he's an
So
Impact right now. Yeah.
yeah, he's an Impact right now. So I want to say about 5, 6 years ago, I was doing a wrestling show from back in my earlier days, and
Yeah.
I was driving him and Matt Seidel, who goes by Evan Bourne right now.
Yo,
Yeah, so
this
those are
guy is
those.
just name dropping left and right. Okay.
Yeah, so I
All
was
right.
talking to those guys, man. But they gave me a piece of advice,
Yeah.
and it stuck with me till then. And that's what I'm going to tell the audience right now. I think so. I was driving them around, and as I was dropping these guys off to their hotel room because they're leaving the next day, Brian was telling me, if you take anything away from this trip, anything at all,
Yeah.
don't believe everything you're seeing on the internet, bro. It's just
Yeah.
don't believe every single thing. Because I promise you'll be disappointed more than anything. And that's it. And he left. He got out of the car and he
Yeah.
left. And he's an awesome guy, man. Awesome guy. Shout out to Brian and shout out to Matt, man. They're awesome
Yeah.
people. So point of that is though, don't believe everything that's coming up to the surface. Am I saying Andrew Luck's gonna come back? No, I'm in any way, shape, or form saying that or that there's a chance. Am I saying that 100% the door's closed? No. Don't believe Irsay. Don't believe the wife with these text messages. I still feel like if I had to put money on it, I still feel like he's happily retired. I'd call it still a 50-50 shot if you really want to use anything or any of the news that's coming out. I call it a 50-50 if you want me to give you a number. But if I had to put money on it, I think he's very happy retired. I understand that maybe he misses the sport a little bit more. But I feel like if Irsay could really try to sweeten the deal for him, it'd have to take something massive for him to be able to come out of retirement. As of right now, I'm saying that he stays with them. He stays retired.
Yeah. I have to agree with you there. And the biggest reason why I think he probably will stay retired is kind of like how it happened in the first place. Like
Yeah, man, he took a beating.
yeah, he took a beating. And like I said, I mean, like what? Like I think like I don't like Jim Irsay as a owner. I think he's the owner, right? Correct
Yeah,
me
he's
if I'm
the
wrong.
owner.
He's the
Irsay's
owner.
the owner.
Yeah, Irsay. Like I never liked him as an owner. He gave him bad management throughout his like first 4 years of his career. I
Yeah.
hated that he had to deal with Chuck Pagano like all those years. And now that he brought in Chris Ballard, who's a phenomenal general manager, he's great. And Andrew Luck only got to have like 1 or 2 years of like being under that system, and I think that he could
He
have
got
really
one actually.
1 year, yeah, 1 year, and that sucked. I mean, he won comeback player of the year that year as well.
Yeah, that offensive line was built, man.
Yeah. Like
Insane,
honest,
man.
yeah, like he finally had it done, but I think he just took too much of a beating, and something like just clicked in his head, like I just can't do this. And
I
the fact,
mean, yeah, there's reports, bro, that he was urinating blood, man.
yeah, like honestly, like just even like the way like he kind of like went out, like it just felt like it was something that was like on his mind for like a long time, and he finally pulled the trigger. I'm assuming he's doing like really good right now. Obviously, he got some good money playing as the quarterback for that team, but I just think that like something like you said, it has to take something massive for him to kind of like to be lured out of retirement. And the thing about the Colts, man, is that they're a good team. They made the
They are a good
playoffs.
team.
They made the playoffs this year, and stuff like that. And they're like, I mean, like you said, they have weapons. They have the offensive line, and they're literally a quarterback away from doing something special. I mean, let's do a hypothetical here.
Okay.
If Andrew Luck were to come back and say he kind of obviously he's going to need some time to like adjust and stuff like that back to the NFL game, but say if we got his last season with Indy, put that version of Andrew Luck on their roster today, what is their ceiling?
Move over, Patrick Mahomes. Get out of here. Move over. Move
Yeah,
over. Seriously, move over,
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes.
yeah,
Move over because I think it'd be between the Colts and the Chiefs, man, every single year. I think I think the only thing I think the Colts' downfall,
yeah,
even with Andrew Luck, would be some of the perimeter weapons because T.Y. Hilton's aging.
yeah,
Pittman, I'm not really sold on,
yeah,
and he's more of a physical possession receiver. And then after that, man, it gets really shaky when it comes to the receiving core. After that,
yeah,
they have a solid run game. They have an excellent run game with an excellent offensive line.
yeah,
But can they? And I think Andrew Luck's phenomenal. I think he can make weapons out of people.
yeah,
But I think, I mean, if you're going to get into shootouts, I think that's the only thing that could limit them. But I still feel, and I'd still give the Colts an edge, man. To be honest with you, I'd still give them the Colts an edge over Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. And their defense is good. Like their defense, like they have a pretty good
Yeah,
defense as well.
yeah. They had
Solid,
a
solid.
top.
So
They had a top five defense, man, and they were top five in sacks. That Buckner trade on that D
DeForest
line
Buckner is a
really helped.
monster. He's a
Yeah, that
monster.
really paid off for them right away.
Yeah,
I mean, they're great, man. They're great, and I mean, again, we're saying that hey, it would take something massive, right? But
yeah,
really, I mean, to come back, you get all these weapons, all this team. Again, though, I think it would take a little bit more money
yeah,
to make it worth his while, and you have to have a solid plan, not pulling something out of your butt and saying, "Oh, just come over here." You have to have a solid, layered plan out for him for the next 2 to 3 years for him to be able to go out there
yeah.
and weather the storm.
Yeah. And I would just love to see him back. He was one of the
Oh, for sure,
most, yeah, he was one of the most fun players to watch in the NFL for
he
me.
was.
Yeah. And I would like, I think like kind of like you could talk about people like Barry Sanders, you could talk about and Calvin Johnson, where we saw them just not have like, they just left the game
Yeah,
like way too young. And
yeah, they
Andrew Luck is
flashed.
definitely like is definitely in that category. And if he were to come back, obviously that would be absolutely fantastic. But
Yeah,
I don't blame the guy. I wouldn't blame the guy if he didn't want to come back.
for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Colts before we move on to the Super Bowl a bit. I mean, obviously they do have the quarterback issues. Philip Rivers did retire this past during this offseason. I think at the moment they still have Jacoby Brissett on roster. Am I correct?
So Jacoby Brissett actually going to be a free agent
He's a
now.
free agent. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you think if obviously Andrew Luck is still kind of a long shot, but if they were like to like address the quarterback position, do you think they're going to bring back Brissett? Do you think they're going to make a trade for Deshaun Watson? Do you think they're going to try and trade for Carson Wentz? Like, what do you think
Okay.
is their plan of action for their?
So here's the thing. Here's what's really interesting. So I think, like you said, Ballard is phenomenal. Great front office. I think Frank Reich, man, Jesus, is such
Yeah.
an amazing head
He's
coach.
good. He's good.
And I made a video about this, and I didn't really get too much into this, but look, we were talking about how the Eagles season ended. Look,
Yeah.
man, as soon as Frank Reich left, Doug Peterson and the Eagles started going down.
Yes.
Yeah, like you could tell, like Carson Wentz his play started getting bad after Frank Reich
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
So I think it just shows you how good Frank Reich is.
Yeah.
So I think the team that I would link with him would be Wentz. I think Wentz should want to go over there to Indianapolis because,
Yeah.
again, we talked about what they have: a solid defense, two solid running backs. They have an amazing offensive line, who's a top 5 ranked offensive line.
Yeah.
So I think Carson Wentz should try to go there. Will they? I don't think so. They'll pull the trigger. Just because I think there's some people that have reservations on Wentz.
Yeah.
I think it's more of the coaching than it is him. I think Carson Wentz can still succeed in the NFL. I'm a Pats fan. I would gladly welcome Carson Wentz as a New England Patriot.
Yeah,
I think for the Colts though, and it's so amazing, man, because we talk about Ballard and Wright being so solid.
yeah.
I hated that Philip Rivers signing, man. I did hate this Philip Rivers. I
Yeah,
didn't
we
like it. I
discussed this
didn't like
before.
it.
Yeah, yeah, I remember you talking to me
I
about it.
didn't
You
like
hated
it.
it. Yeah,
I didn't like it. It's amazing to me how such smart people with a
yeah,
good eye for personnel decide that, hey, you know what, this is the best route, this aging quarterback, which
yeah,
granted, that just shows you how good that team is that with an aging Philip Rivers, they still went to the playoffs.
yeah,
Where they were a couple plays away from advancing.
yeah,
That's really impressive. I don't think Brissett comes back because
yeah,
we've seen everything Brissett's got a shot. They were under 500 with Brissett. I think you've seen it. I think you have to understand what the clear goal is. I think for Indianapolis is they understand that they're in a championship window if they get the quarterback right. Derek Carr, watch out for Derek Carr, man.
yeah,
Derek Carr could be an option there, man. It's going to be a lot of QB dominoes. I'm thinking Derek Carr. Derek Carr would be a
yeah,
good one. I
yeah.
don't think the Colts have enough firepower to trade up without giving away
A
some
key
of their
piece, a key
a key
piece.
core young assets, which
Yeah,
I wouldn't trade
yeah,
because
no, no.
when you look at the NFL draft, man, I don't see anyone outside of Trevor Lawrence being a sure thing. I like Justin Fields a lot. I think Justin Fields. It's ludicrous to say that he's not the number 2 quarterback out
Yeah,
there, but I still feel like every other quarterback outside of Trevor Lawrence comes with a risk. So I think Derek Carr, Carson Wentz would probably be the smartest moves. Derek
yeah,
Carr's real efficient.
yeah,
He's very efficient, and again, you just need a quarterback that's just enough by this roster to be able to make some plays for you down
yeah,
around the stretch, bro. So
yeah.
yeah, man, I see that. I can see Derek Carr, Carson Wentz on there. Again, I'd say Derek Carr's more likely than Carson Wentz, though.
Yeah, I mean, we both have had like really good seasons in the NFL as well. They've both
Yeah,
like when they have the talent around them, you could see their type of potential. I mean,
yeah,
Carson Wentz was a near MVP candidate when the year that Philly
for
won the Super
sure.
Bowl before he got injured. Same thing with Derek Carr. I mean, he was I think at one point like a top 5 MVP candidate like 1 year with the Raiders. I mean, these are good quarterbacks, and with the weapons that the Colts have and stuff like that, like they could like really like make some noise. And I think like they can like especially being um I think they're just literally just a quarterback away. They really
Yeah.
are with that roster. And I think if you can like get the best out of Carr or Wentz, that could definitely be the case. So watch out for the Colts, man, to be like
Oh,
active on that trading market.
can I add one more thing, TV,
Yeah, go
on
ahead.
basically quarterback dominoes, brother? Pay attention to the San Francisco 49ers quarterback situation with Garoppolo.
Yeah,
It feels like they're trapped right now, and
yeah,
the market for Jimmy G isn't as solid, man. There's
yeah.
big rumors, and I had James Pledger from ESPN telling me there was a early report saying that the Niners were going to try to move Garoppolo for Kirk Cousins.
I've seen that too. I've seen that
So
report. That's
yeah,
gonna be interesting.
so it's going to be very interesting. Did you hear the report about them trying to get Matthew Stafford though?
Yes, yes.
So that's very interesting. So what it's telling me is that I think the Niners are trapped, man.
Yeah.
I think the Niners are trapped. I think people were asking me if I want Jimmy G back with the Patriots. I don't want him back. I think he gets hurt too much, man.
Way
He's
too
had
much, yeah.
one healthy season, and granted, they went to a Super Bowl
But
that
you can't
one
trust that.
season.
Yeah, you can't trust his
I will
health.
not trust that, man. So that's going to be I think that's a quarterback situation worth monitoring.
Yeah. Just this offseason in the NFL could be insane. Like
Oh, for sure.
the amount of free agents to like that are on the market, the amount of people who are in these trade rumors, like honestly, like I'm all for it. I'm all for
Yeah, for sure.
what could transpire. The NFL could look a lot different come
The
August,
next year.
September.
Yeah,
Man, that's gonna be so crazy.
for sure.
Yeah. But we'll talk about it a different day. We'll talk about it in the offseason.
Oh, for sure.
It's Super Bowl weekend, man. It's Super Bowl
Super
weekend.
Bowl, man.
It's the
Ah, it's
Super
awesome.
Bowl weekend, man. Patrick Mahomes, the up and coming, the golden child of the of the
Yeah, for
NFL,
sure.
the
That's one
golden
way to
child of
put
the
it. Yeah.
NFL, and then the GOAT Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Gonna be an insane matchup, man. Like, let's just start here. Like, what are your thoughts on the Super Bowl matchup, and like, what can we like expect?
It's very intriguing. When you look at the Super Bowl matchup, it's got the makings of fireworks. I think this is, I can't remember the last time I was very, very pumped for a matchup like this one. Even though the Patriots a couple years back were in the Super Bowl, I mean, still, we weren't really heralding. It was Patriots and Rams. It's okay. Obviously what we got sucked when it came to the final product. And then the Niners and Chiefs still was something like, we'll see. This should be
Yeah,
a high scoring game, man. This should be a high
yeah,
scoring game. I have it in the 30s at least.
Same here.
It's going to be a very
Yeah,
interesting
we'll get into the
matchup.
predictions later, but
Oh
I
yeah,
think
for sure. This is
we'll
going to
get
be a
into
high
players.
scoring game, just to
Yes,
let the audience know that.
yeah,
You have two teams that are ranked in the top when it comes to passing. They're ranked in the top 6 of every single category. When it comes to running the ball, they don't do a lot of running. Kansas City
yeah,
16th, Tampa's 28th in the league when it comes to running the
yeah,
football. Obviously, that's something. The amount of offense being put in this is something that I'm looking forward to the most. Is Tom Brady truly the GOAT? Is Patrick Mahomes as good as people want to herald him to? That's, I think, the biggest storyline here to watch, man. It's going to be a very exciting one, man. Looking forward to that.
yeah. And like I've talked about this with different people. I think like when Tom Brady signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and
Yeah,
Mahomes like obviously like running the AFC at the moment. This is what the NFL wanted. Let's be completely honest.
yeah, for
Obviously,
sure.
like this is like the ideal matchup that the NFL wanted,
It's got
and
everything.
it's got everything. You got the GOAT on one side. Like, can he do it at age 43? Can he take down the young stud in Patrick Mahomes? Like both teams, like you talk about, their offenses are insane. They have weapons upon weapons on both sides of the ball, and it really just like it's gonna be a shootout. It's honestly gonna be a
It should
shootout.
be.
It should be a shootout. And I mean, like both their defenses are not bad either, man. Both their defenses are not too bad. I mean,
They're coming. I mean, they're coming up, brother. They're
they're
coming
coming
up.
up.
I think Tampa's got an edge on when it comes to defense.
Yeah, same
I
here.
think
Yeah,
that's. But again, I think Patrick Mahomes balances that out.
yeah, for sure. And it's like you said, it's going to be a just like a really really good matchup. I mean, like we talk about obviously like the quarterback matchup. That is the number one thing that everyone's looking at. Mahomes Brady.
Yeah.
Who's under the most pressure in your opinion?
Uh, Quarterback wise to come in
Yeah,
and win.
yeah,
I think it's Mahomes, man. I think Mahomes got some pressure, man, because regardless, he's beaten Brady twice. He's
yeah,
beaten Brady twice. One of the times that he beat him was this year, with Tampa.
yeah,
27-24 was the matchup. And it was obviously didn't feel a lot closer as it was. But then the first time that he beat him was when Brady was in New England 2 years back. And there was a very controversial ending. It had a very controversial ending. Some could argue that the Pats got robbed in that game. Regardless, though, I don't feel like Mahomes needs to come out here and beat Brady, man. Fair and square, legit, as clean as it comes. He has to be able to find a way to outduel Brady if he ever truly wants to be GOAT status
yeah.
within consideration. I don't think he'll ever do it, to be honest with you, just because from now to 10 years from now, man, a lot can change.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Patrick Mahomes will ever reach that status, man. But I feel like if he still wants to keep his name alive for that
Yeah.
conversation, it starts by beating Tom Brady. We saw what happened last time they played in the playoffs, man. Brady was able to win.
Yeah,
He's
they
got to do
were.
it. He's got to do it when the lights are on bright and it matters the most, man.
Yeah. And this could either be like, and then I could see two outcomes. Like, obviously, there's going to be two storylines coming out of this.
Yeah,
One, it's the passing of the torch. If
sure.
Patrick Mahomes comes out and win this, it's the passing of the torch. Mahomes runs the NFL now if he can take down Tom Brady. Because let's be honest, Tom Brady is the elder statesman. He's been there forever now,
Yeah,
and like no one has taken his crown. Even though like it was a bad year in New England last year, like at
yeah,
least like for the team in general, everything still goes through Tom Brady,
it does.
and this could be the ultimate, handing of the torch moment if Mahomes can pull it off. And in terms of Brady, man, I mean, like this is his first year out of New England. Obviously, people have like were doubting whether like he could take this like team, especially at his age, to the Super Bowl. He's
Yeah,
proven that wrong once again, as Tom Brady likes to do. Doing GOAT stuff as always, and like it's just going to be like a really fun matchup. I believe I agree with you. Patrick Mahomes needs to get this win. I think it's just like a way to kind of elevate his status. Like, look, I beat the GOAT. I beat the GOAT. Like I
yeah,
gave
on the
him one
grandest stage of them all.
on
On
the
the grandest
grandest
stage.
stage. Yeah, and I think he just needs that to kind of like, I mean, he's already like the best quarterback in the NFL, but can he like upgrade his like his all time status? And this win would definitely help him in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another storyline to look at here is like obviously like you talk about your New England Patriots, losing Tom Brady. Obviously, you guys didn't make the playoffs at all, but if he wins here, is this more of a like who like in terms of his pressure, do you think like if he like wins this, like is it more of an indictment on like Belichick in the sense where like look he can win without Belichick, or do you think like the New England Patriots like I don't know how to word it, like do you think like this like if he wins, what
Yeah.
does it devalue Belichick, or do you think if he loses, like it'll like devalue like Brady
Well,
more?
I think it's already. I think him getting to a Super Bowl is to value Brady. I had a lot of Patriot haters, bro, or
Yeah,
not really Patriot haters, but a lot of Tom Brady haters. Asking him, I asked him before the season started, like, what's it going to take for you to say? Because a lot of people were like, would always say, oh, Brady's just a system quarterback.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm like, well, what in the world would it take, man, for him to go to the Super Bowl this year? So for all those smack talkers, bro, trash
yeah,
talkers, you're done.
yeah,
You're done with that, and you're done with that. Because he
yeah.
made it to the Super Bowl. He's not a system quarterback. If anything, Brady proved that he was the system.
He
What
was.
was
Yeah,
New England before Brady?
nothing.
What's been New England after Brady? It's been
Yeah,
dumpster fire, man, sadly. And it sucks since it's my team. But I think Brady has already devalued Belichick. I think anything else that he accomplishes after that is just going to make it hurt even more. I
yeah,
figured Tom would win the divorce. I always did.
yeah,
Just because I think Belichick is stuck in his ways, man. He doesn't want to change. And I
yeah,
feel like he thinks that his system was the end all be all. We saw it with Cam, bro.
yeah,
Oh, with Cam, that didn't work out. Brady had 4 times more touchdowns than any of the New England quarterbacks combined.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
I feel like Belichick's looking like a moron right now, man. And
Yeah,
a lot of my friends that are Pats fans too are like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Well, I'm just being honest right now. He looks bad.
yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
Bill should have a plan. I'm hoping he's got a plan.
yeah,
We'll see. We'll see what happens next season, though. I mean, it was granted that this was going to happen this year. Brady was going to look good. The Pats were going to look terrible. We'll see what they're able to address next season and see what happens, because the Buccaneers will be playing the New England Patriots next season.
yeah.
They're in Boston. And what more? And I was telling one of my friends this earlier. How much more would it sting, bro, to have the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers go into your home stadium if you're
Yeah,
Bill Belichick to
that
play?
hurt. Yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
That would
hurt.
hurt. That would
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, and like I mean, you talked about it. I mean, like he made it to Super Bowl. He already kind of proved
yeah,
that narrative wrong already.
yeah.
And with Belichick now at this point, I mean, we have enough of a sample size. When he was a head coach, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was was it the Browns head coach before he was the
He was the Browns head coach, man, and he got fired. They
yeah
went to the playoffs, I believe, once or twice, maybe. And then the season that Brady went in, so Brady started in the 2000
yeah
season, they went 5-11.
yeah
And before Brady started the following season, they were 0-2.
yeah
So that already started off on a rocky point, man.
yeah. So I mean, like we have enough of a sample size with Belichick without Tom Brady to say that look, Brady was the reason. Like you can't take that away from him at this point. I think like
Never.
we've gone rid of that narrative. Obviously, Tampa Bay is still a good roster, but Tom Brady is the guy leading the charge, and he
Yeah.
was a big reason as to why they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane, brother. It's crazy, man. But I
yeah,
will add one thing,
yeah,
man. Props to Tom Brady, man, because like LeBron James got a lot of crap thrown at him,
yeah,
saying that, oh, if LeBron was in the West, he wouldn't be able to be as successful. Oh, if Tom Brady's in the AFC, he wouldn't be as successful. Both
yeah,
guys change conferences.
yeah.
Both guys are at the top of the game, man.
Exactly. I mean, that's what goats do. That's what
Yeah,
goats
that's what
do.
they do, man.
Exactly. Going back to the Super Bowl matchup, I mean, obviously people are going to be talking about Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and obviously the weapons that they have on both sides. Mike Evans is a baller, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. People will talk about those. We'll talk about those.
For sure.
But who is the biggest X factor that no one's talking about? Do you think is going to be a big difference in this Super Bowl on either side?
Tyreek Hill, man. Tyreek Hill's going to be the biggest X factor in this game. I've said it all week long. I think the biggest priority, if I'm Bruce Arians in this game, whether it's
Yeah.
offense or defense, it's telling Todd Bowles, I don't care what we need to do. We need to shut Tyreek Hill down. We need to take away Mahomes' best weapons. People are going to tell me that Kelsey's more important, but I'm calling BS on that because I've seen Kansas City lose games. Obviously, it doesn't happen a lot, but
Yeah.
I've seen Kansas City lose games with Travis Kelsey being the leading receiver, which basically to me tells me it doesn't matter what he's doing. If Tyreek Hill, man, gets off to a hot start, bro, and it's a guy that can burn you at any given play
Yeah.
and start when he dropped 269 on them,
Yeah.
in a half, in a quarter,
Yeah.
if that happens, Kansas City's going to take over the game, man.
Yeah.
And the Bucks are going to be playing catch up, man. And if you're going down 2 possessions against Patrick Mahomes and he's rolling, I feel like it's going to be impossible to catch up. Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill, man, is the biggest X factor. If Tampa can slow him down, they have a shot to win this game. If
Yeah.
they don't and they let Tyreek Hill do whatever the hell he wants, man, it's not going to be.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a
Yeah.
long day for them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be the biggest one for me.
Yeah. For me, the biggest X factor, I mean, obviously, like Tyreek Hill, I consider him as one of those wide receivers, and there's not
Yeah,
many of them in the league that are just game breakers. They just break the
yeah,
game wide open. Like you let Tyreek Hill loose, it's almost like it's over for your team, man. I mean, you can't catch the guy, one of the fastest players in the league. Like
sure.
he's just honestly insane. Like for me, my biggest X factor is Jason Pierre-Paul on the Bucks
Buccaneers.
defense on the Bucks
Okay.
defense. I mean, because like the problem with Kansas City and like why people are maybe kind of doubting them in this game is that their offensive line is it's like it's beat up, it's
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, like obviously, like, I think I forgot who else got injured like earlier this week.
Well, they lost their two starting tackles are out for
Their
the
two
game.
starting tackles are out. And Jason Pierre-Paul, you saw him wreak havoc against that
Green Bay. Yeah,
Packers O line in the championship game, man. If he can get pressure on Mahomes and kind of make it like where he can't even like I mean Patrick Mahomes is already like one of the best quarterbacks, obviously, but if
yeah,
you can get pressure on him, if you can make him like uncomfortable, that could be like a difference maker. You know, get a couple of sacks here and there, put just apply pressure to Patrick Mahomes to make decisions quick. I think that could like really turn this game around. I mean, that's what happened in the championship game against Aaron Rodgers. Like there were some possessions where, um, you know, their Green Bay defense got them these opportunities, but when it came back and Aaron Rodgers was there, I mean, obviously the
they slowed
Packers O
them
line
down
was they just took him down like over and over again. And one of the common denominators was Jason Pierre-Paul just
for
constantly
sure.
just um getting like to the quarterback.
Pressure.
And I think that that could have thing like I know obviously it's not going to be the same thing with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, obviously, but I could see something similar like that happening. And I think that could definitely be one of those things that could really help the Bucks out,
For
especially
sure.
like because like you said, they don't want to play catch up with Kansas City. No one wants to play catch up
They
with that
don't.
team. No, like they need to get ahead early and they need to they have to stamp the game on the defensive end. I think Jason Pierre-Paul could be a massive contributor to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another player that I was thinking about, and he did not play in the championship game, but obviously, like, I don't know what your thoughts about this guy, but maybe he can make up like a key player too. And I think like not a lot of people do talk about him, especially since he joined the Bucks. Antonio Brown,
Okay.
he did not play in the championship
Yeah.
game. I mean, he was injured and stuff like that. But do you think he can? I mean, like, obviously the Kansas City is gonna zone in on Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and stuff like that. Do you think that Antonio Brown can make an impact on this game? Because I don't think a lot of people can.
Yeah, I think Antonio Brown is a dark horse for an MVP, man, in the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, man, just
Yeah,
because I feel like they're gonna key on Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, man. I feel like out of the three, man, I think Antonio Brown's got probably the second best hands there. I think Mike Evans got the best hands on there, but again, he's gonna be covered up. I trust Antonio Brown more than Godwin. To be honest with you, I feel like Antonio AB is phenomenal when it comes to being a possession receiver and giving you those key third downs. I feel like when it comes to those key third downs, Brady's gonna go to him
yeah.
when it's crunch time, man. In my opinion, there. So I like that, man. I think Antonio Brown's gonna be a dark horse.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he's still one of the best route runners in NFL history. He
Yeah, for
still has that
sure.
in his bag. And I think I think like I mentioned earlier, they're gonna zone in on those two like big receivers of the
For
Tampa Bay
sure.
Buccaneers. And Antonio Brown, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he won that Super Bowl MVP just like going off just because like no one is paying attention to him and he's just gonna surprise a lot of people. I mean,
For sure.
yeah, so I definitely could see him being one of those players who can definitely surprise people.
For sure, brother.
But at the end of the day, we have to make our predictions.
Okay.
A Super Bowl, what is this? I think 54, right? Super Bowl
55.
55, Super Bowl
55.
55, 55. Joe, what is your prediction for this game? Who do you have winning and what's the score?
So I think Kansas City's gonna probably possibly get off to a real hot start. I love what the offense is doing. I think Andy Reid's a better head coach than Bruce Arians. I feel like again, extra time for Andy Reid equals more success for them. And obviously, you can't doubt him with Patrick Mahomes, man. This high aerial offense, man. They have plenty of weapons. But I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, to win this football game 37-31. I'm never going to bet against Tom Brady ever again in my life, man. The guy made me pay
Yeah.
for it last week or 2 weeks ago. I feel like Brady has been there before. I think his leadership alone and his experience in the Super Bowl is what's really helped change the culture for Tampa. I feel like it'll help guide him in this Super Bowl, and I feel like he compensates for terrible coaching that I think Bruce Arians still is to this day, bro. So I feel like as long as Arians can keep his ego aside and tell Brady, hey, call your game, play your game.
Yeah.
And the defense for the Bucks can at least make Kansas City feel uncomfortable because they're losing their 2 starting tackles. I think I still give Tampa the edge, man. I'm gonna take Brady over Mahomes in a heartbeat. It's a guy that I've always bet money on and I always put everything on the line with. I want Brady to have that ball. I trust him. 37-31 is gonna be the final. It'll be a close game at the very end, and I feel like Brady's gonna do a classic 2-minute drill to win this game.
Yeah. I definitely see that happening. You got the Tampa Bay winning. I have some questions for you, Joe.
Go for it.
Who is the quarterback that came down from 28-3 in the Super Bowl?
Tom Brady.
Who's the player that against one of the the Los Angeles Rams against one of the best defensive tackles was still able to pull out the game?
Tom Brady.
Exactly. Who is the player who against one of the MVP this year and people doubted him over and over again that he could beat the Green Bay Packers?
Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the one, brother.
I can't doubt him, man. I cannot doubt him. Tom Brady in Super Bowl is just a perfect combination. I can't doubt. I just can't. And I think this game, I think just Tampa Bay is just going to make just enough defensive plays and to close out this game. And I think the final score is going to be, I think it's going to be even high scoring than what you expect it to be. I say 40-37.
Oh, man, I would take that. I would take that in a heartbeat. I'd take that kind of game in a heartbeat. 40, I will tell you this, TV.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, though. That play that Jimmy missed.
Yeah.
Brady's not going to miss that play. Right now, bro.
Yeah.
Brady's not going to miss that play.
Yeah. I got to go with Tom Brady. I got to go with the Buccaneers. I will never doubt this, man. I had the Packers going to the Super Bowl this year, and they were still able to pull it out. I can't doubt Tom Brady at this point. 40-37. That is my Super Bowl prediction. It's gonna be a hell of a game, man. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'm definitely gonna be getting some drinks. Gonna be definitely getting,
Oh yeah, my God.
It's gonna be an awesome night, man. Gonna be an awesome Super Bowl this Sunday. I know everyone's gonna be watching. It's gonna be just a hell of a matchup, man. And again, thank you, Joe, for coming on the show, talking some NFL, talking some basketball. Thanks for coming on, man.
Awesome, brother. I'm very, very happy to always be on, brother. Love it, man.
Yeah. Anything? I'm giving you the stage right now. Anything you want to promote from your show or anything before we head out?
I'm going to be dropping the top 5 Tom Brady performances on YouTube. I'm having an NFL jersey giveaway. That's right, a legit NFL jersey giveaway. If you want the details on that, go to my Instagram. And I want to thank Genius Brand Supplements. They are the official sponsor for Critical Condition Sports. Use my code JoseM to get 15% off your next order. And then you can get that information on my Instagram page.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to enter in that giveaway. So guys, get that jersey. Definitely try and enter that giveaway. I'm going to have all of his links to his Instagram, everything, all that down in my link tree. And yeah, once again, thank you for coming on, talking to Super Bowl. It was definitely a fun episode, man.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate it, TV.
Yeah. And I think this is where we're going to end today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to check out the podcast, subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. That'd be highly appreciated. Follow at TVonBasketball on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I will definitely be posting just clips of this and more stuff in terms of Super Bowl this weekend, so definitely go check that out. And hopefully we can talk some more hoops, talk some more things and have Joe on the show again. But awesome. I think this is where we're gonna end it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope y'all have a fantastic day. Take it easy, guys. TV signing out. Peace.